How's it going, everyone? And to the surprise of, I think, absolutely no one, the launch and release of Mindseye has been an absolute disaster. This has been one of the more interesting games to follow leading up to its release. How, there was a lot of uncertainty surrounding the game, and then people talking about how the negative content being created about the game was people just getting paid and farming, etc., etc. But yeah, the release has been a disaster. The game is a buggy mess, and I told everybody not to spend $60 on the game, but I think there were people out there that, first of all, liked the look of the game, and then I think there were a lot of people that had a morbid curiosity on the game. I really do believe that that was the case, but thankfully, if you did buy the game on PlayStation, PlayStation support are refunding the game with zero issues, as multiple people are reporting. Now, obviously on Steam, you have that 2-hour refund window, which sometimes Valve and Steam will go even beyond that if a game is like really, really bad. I don't know if Mindseye is a game to that level where it's so broken that they'll offer refunds. There was also a statement posted by Build a Rocket Boy on a hotfix coming to the game, and hopefully it gets better. I don't think anybody should be spending $60 on this game, even if it gets better. At this point, if the game gets far better, if it gets fixed up and it's in the bargain bin, then pick it up. I don't think this game is gonna pull like a Cyberpunk, let's just be honest here. Maybe it will, you know, we've seen crazier. No Man's Sky, I remember the gutter that game was in August of 2016, and look at where that game is now. But let's talk about what's going on, and also a pretty interesting note on sponsorships for this game. We'll talk that at the end of this video briefly. PlayStation is issuing refunds for Mindseye, as noted on Insider Gaming. Thanks to The Gamer, we have seen 2 examples of PlayStation issuing refunds for Mindseye. The first example comes from the r/Mindseye subreddit, where a user has posted their conversation with PlayStation support. In their request for a refund, the user mentioned that the game is advertised on the official PlayStation launch trailer with 60 FPS footage as Pro Enhanced, but that's incorrect. PlayStation acknowledged the problem, stating that they're aware of issues regarding the optimization for Mindseye and are currently investigating the issue. In the meantime, they had processed the refund request for the customer. Another user, Wolfgang Mishima, posted a similar exchange on Twitter. Wolfgang's post only includes the response from PlayStation, which stated that they are usually not allowed to offer refunds for games purchased from the PlayStation Store, but they will make an exception for the user. I believe the only instance outside of games being absolutely broken, like in this instance, that PlayStation will offer you a refund is if you buy a game on the PlayStation Store and didn't even trigger the download. Yes, that is how stingy they are with refunds. You can't even trigger the download, and then I think you can get a refund. I wish every digital storefront would adopt something like Steam, where you have a 2-hour play window, and if it doesn't, for whatever reason, if you don't like the game, if it doesn't perform well, you can refund it. Obviously, PC does have the issue where there are so many bad PC ports and PC performances all over the place, and older games are just broken, where it is more, in line and more necessary for a PC storefront to have refunds, but that can be said for consoles as well. There are broken games that are released on consoles all the time, games that are always online and servers go down. You can go on and on about the reasoning, and having a refund policy I think would be great. Unfortunately, that is not the case. In the past, PlayStation did also offer refunds for Cyberpunk 2077 when that came out on PlayStation 4. And that game was a train wreck at launch. And the PlayStation 4 launch of Cyberpunk was abysmal. I honestly never thought the PC release of Cyberpunk was that bad. Was it buggy? Yes, but I thought it was playable. I think comparing this game to the PC version of Cyberpunk is honestly doing the initial PC release of Cyberpunk a little bit of a disservice. I think Cyberpunk 2077, when it came out, relative to the expectations of the game, like, people didn't have expectations of Mindseye to be the second coming of gaming. People had the expectations of Cyberpunk being the second coming of gaming, which I always felt that was a little bit misplaced, but maybe CDPR shouldn't be building up a game's release for 10 years and promising a lot of things they didn't deliver on, but I digress. Cyberpunk was, the expectation was there that it was going to be the second coming of gaming, and it was you know, a poor release on PS4 and Xbox One and a janky release on PC, but playable on PC, and I beat the game when it initially came out. It's much better now, you get the idea, but yeah, I do think Mindseye, based on what I'm seeing, is at a far, far worse state, and I don't know if the game can ever get to a level where it's a quality title. However, they are going to continue updating it. The Mindseye official community section put out a post. Dear community, a heartfelt thank you to all of our day one players. We know that the launch of Mindseye hasn't been without its challenge for some of you. Right now, our top priority is game performance. We understand that the requirements are high and have limited the experience for many of you, and for this, we sincerely apologize. Improving performance across all devices is our immediate focus. A patch that begins our commitment to address this is scheduled for the end of this week on PC, and will also roll out to consoles as soon as possible. The upcoming hotfix will include initial CPU and GPU performance improvements along with memory optimization, reduced difficulty for the CPR minigame, a new setting to disable or modify depth of field, a fix for an issue with missing controls for the Mine Hunter and Run Dungeon minigames, pop-up warnings for PCs that have hardware-accelerated GPU scheduling disabled, and PCs with CPUs that have potential crash issues. This will be the first in a series of updates aimed at enhancing your experience and will continue to share regular information. For our Steam players, we're excited to confirm that that build Mindseye is now fully accessible. We can't wait to see what you create. We're also actively resolving any missing DLC entitlements. They'll be automatically added to your account as soon as possible. All players on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation will receive the latest patches when connected to the internet. Please ensure your game is updated regularly to enjoy the benefits of the latest improvements. Kind of a bummer since this was one of the first IO Interactive partners published title. Actually, I think the first one that IO Interactive partnered with Build a Rocket Boy. And, you know, sorry about that, IO Interactive. Hoping that James Bond game turns out pretty well. I think that game does look great, and this is a game that they just partnered with, handled the publishing, but yeah, has to be seen as a little bit of a bummer to end up as this big of a disaster. At the very least, PlayStation is offering refunds. This game is going to be, I would imagine, a commercial failure, because day one is when you get the most amount of buzz, and yeah, there's been instances of No Man's Sky restoring goodwill, but that takes years and years, and is Build a Rocket Boy going to be updating this game for years and years? Cyberpunk cost a lot of money to get it fixed up and patched up, and getting that game updated and at a better level. I just don't think Mindseye is going to have that. Like, that level of expectation for a game to have a turnaround like a Cyberpunk, like a No Man's Sky, that's a daunting undertaking, but we'll see where this goes. Also, interestingly enough, it's been making the round that Twitch streamer CoCarnage was about to start a sponsored stream for Mindseye, and they emailed him right as the stream was starting to stop the stream, and that they'll do the sponsored stream at a later time. So take that for what you will. Build a Rocket Boy obviously aware that at this point, this game is getting absolutely clowned on. A sponsored stream would offer nothing. You know, nobody would watch a sponsored stream at this stage of the game and be like, oh, that game looks really cool. No, it would probably be the chat clowning on the game, talking about how the game is a waste of money at this point, and it would do a disservice to the game. So if it gets to a better state, at that point, continue your sponsored content, but at this point, doing sponsored content probably would be more of a disservice to the game rather than anything. Or, not a disservice, since it would be exposing the game to a new audience, but, you know, in the sense of getting people to buy the game and ultimately caring about conversions from people watching a stream, a sponsored stream, or sponsored content into buying the game, it would probably be not very worthwhile at this stage of the game. But as I mentioned, if you are on PlayStation, if you did end up buying the game, get your refund if you do want it. I would certainly not buy the game and then try to refund it, and play the game and then try to refund it. You never want to risk it with PlayStation like that. Look, a couple people got lucky, but what if they drop a patch and performance gets better and then you're locked out of your refund? Who knows? Like, I would just not buy the game at this stage of the game. If down the line it's, like, this game is gonna hit the bargain bin pretty quickly. I could see by the end of the year it being like $19.99 with how it's performing, but we'll see on that. There is gonna be a hotfix coming and updates coming, so we'll see how performance rolls out, and I do think it was pretty comedic with the sponsored stream situation with CoCarnage, but at the same time, it's probably best bet for them at this stage of the game. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.